It's time for a shift. This is the shift. Big change, big things in the phase. Yeah, big change, big things.
This is the shift. Music in the background coming from the camp of Zakisha Brown. She calls this the shift. That's one person you should be really, really looking out for, because the kind of words she put in her song is like on another level, yo. So let's get back to the conversation. Preparing to come to Ghana.
Yes.
At what point did you think that, okay, let me just start going to Ghana right now and get things going for me?
Well, so anybody that knows me, you know, my family's watching on live, they know, like, I've been saying I wanted to get to Ghana for a while. My best friend even reminds me of that. She was like, I'm so happy for you there because you've been saying it for a while, and I have. Like, I want to get to Ghana. I want to get to Ghana. And then, especially with the year return, I felt left out. I was like, you know, people say you got that fear of missing out. I was like, really like, oh, I missed out. So what happened was I turned 40 in June. So last year.
Hold on. You turned. How old are you?
I'm 40.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, listen, she cute, right? I try to keep it.
Black.
Thank you for the compliment.
Crack. Now, that's for real, though. Like, you are 40 years old.
Yes. You should see my mom. My mom is, she don't look her age. So I guess it's genetics and God and everything goes. Shout out to my mama.
we are beautiful people. Like, for real, though.
So
keep it going.
So what happened is, as I was planning, thinking about my 40th, I was like, I want to go to Ghana and I want to have an event. And it wasn't a party event. I wanted to do something I did last year called Party with a Purpose, where for my birthday last year, for 24 hours, I gave out information on Zoom, resources and everything. So I'm like, well, I want to take that same premise and go to Ghana for my 40th birthday. And then when COVID hit, I was like, oh man, if I plan this right, like you just did, COVID hit. And I'm like, dang, it's my 40th. That's a milestone birthday. If I plan this and I can't go, I don't want my 40th to ever be connected to what I couldn't do. Right. So I was like, all right, let me be on the shift. Let me shift. So I shifted, right? And I was like, oh, shoot. PanaFest comes every other year, and this was the year for PanaFest. I was like, I'm going to go during PanaFest. That way, if I don't make it, it's not connected to my birthday. I'm not really upset.
Right.
So that's when my whole premise was like, let me get to PanaFest. Then it was like, I don't know what made me say this, but I was like, since I was planning to have something big for my birthday, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I could present at PanaFest. And then I was like, I went online, realized I missed the deadline. I was like, shoot, I missed the deadline. But shout out to Yadida. Shout out to Rabbi Kohen back in Cape Coast. So I knew Yadida. She is Jamaican by way of New York, but she lives here in Ghana now. Right. And I reached out to her and I was like, I think I missed the deadline. Can you help me get my proposal in? So luckily they extended the deadline anyway, but she was very pivotal, her and the rabbi, making sure that my proposal went through. And then maybe a month later, I just happened to be just saying hi to her, like, hey, what's up, just checking on you. She was like, your proposal got accepted. I was like, what? How did this happen? Yeah. Right? I was like, what? I was so excited. And around the time it got accepted, I was doing what my company does. It's called Career Exposure Seminars. And Career Exposure Seminars is where I had panelists and I had people from different businesses and different careers come on this panel and talk about their careers. And the premise of that is exposing people in our community to different careers. Because my motto is you can't become what you don't know exists. Right. So it was like, okay, we're trying to inspire the next generation, go be great, but they only know about being a teacher, a lawyer, a police officer. So these panels that I have, what I do is I have people talk about their careers and how they got started. And if you want to be in this career, if you want to start this business, it's informational for youth, young people, young and old, even people that want to change their careers. So you know what you could be aspired to be. And when you see people that look like you and I doing it, it's like, oh my God, if they're doing it. So that's when, hence, I met Rudy for the first time. So, and he was on my panel, and then I told him about I'm going to Ghana. He was like, you tell people I'm going to Ghana. He's like, yeah, I want to go. But then just like that, I was like, Rudy, I'm going to Ghana. He was like, let me know, I want to go. And I think we had connected, me, him, and my cousin. because we was shout out to 102.6 The Situation. My cousins on listening in. We was there in Atlanta when we first met and we did the panel, and we was just talking to them about what we're trying to do, how we're trying to connect, and we talking about going to Ghana. Rudy was like, let me know, and people would say that, but Rudy like stuck with the idea. Hence why he's here sitting next to me in the crowd right now.
So you are not actually set on going to Ghana. I mean, you had wanted to travel to Africa at one point in time in your life, but it just happened.
Yeah, like
she put the magic. Yeah, she cast the spell.
Yeah,
and that was
I was in a mode already prior to even knowing or meeting. I was like, anything that's aligned with my purpose, I'm going. Like I'm like, taking action on.
Yes.
So when God presented Shenice and said Ghana, I was just like, okay, God.
I hear you.
So every time she kept telling me, I'm just like, I'm going.
It's funny because it sounded like you were just sitting in the corner not doing nothing, and she said, "Hey, what you doing?" Nothing.
Exactly how it was.
Ghana, you're like,
it was like that because, like I said,
Let's go.
Rudy, myself, and my cousin Ezekiel, who's my VP. We gel so quickly. So it really was like in conversation, like, we talking about what we want to do, how we can really help our people. Right. And then it was like, oh, by the way, I'm going to Ghana. You going, let's go. And like I said, and people would say that, but Rudy really stuck to it. So I think like a couple of weeks had passed. And I still was saying I'm going, but what the issue was, I was still waiting to hear back more information from PanaFest, so I can say like what the itinerary is going to be. So it's still a lot of things up in the air.
I had already told everybody like, yo, I'm going.
And that's so crazy because I had the same story. Like
and
regardless,
I was like, we going?
Yeah, and guess what? And that's my same testimony because regardless what I didn't hear from PanaFest or not, I still kept saying I'm going to Ghana. Like people ask me, you still going? Yes, I'm. Like it was like the manifestation was like real. Like regardless of what I didn't know, I still was like I'm going. And then it was crazy because when I bought my ticket, then I knew it got real. Like I kept like, yeah, I'm going. But when I actually got the confirmation email with my itinerary and I called Rudy, I was like, Rudy bought his ticket probably like what, less than 24 hours, probably like the same day.
She's like, Rudy, I did it. I said, all right, I'm gonna do mine now.
And then he called Jared had his ticket. So even when we didn't even know where we was staying, we had our tickets. It was just like, all right, now once we got the ticket, we don't care where we stay. We care, but the ticket made it real. The ticket made it real.
Like. So I mean, you had contacts here already that were gonna, hold you down, help you find places. And
So again, shout out to Sister Yadida. She was helping me on the ground, like telling me different things still. But a lot of the work because of COVID, it's different. Like before you get your visa, just get your passport, whatever. And now it was like all these moving parts. So it really got to a point where it was stressful for us coming down to the wire because it was just like so many things and we wasn't finding information all in one place, but we just kept to the idea. Even out of that, when we first came, it was about me presenting at PanaFest. Then it developed in our initiative, and Rudy can speak more about it, about the W.B. Du Bois Day that is now a holiday in Philadelphia, and we like he died in Ghana. Wow. I don't even know how to when it wasn't a conversation piece, it just became a part of the mission on top of PanaFest, on top of us connecting. It's a holiday in
Philly now.
Yeah, it's celebrated
because of you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let him talk about it because
So how do you make that happen? Because we're about to connect that right now, like here. How do you make that happen?
So that, or just like include it with the trip, or just talk about that?
No, talk about that. We're gonna come to the trip. Well, with the trip, we know you're just tagging along. What's going on? We're
Yeah, so that was a resolution that was put together with myself and my team. I shout out to Locks Knox, JP, and it's the City Council of Philadelphia. Just last January, 2020 January, we were able to get it official. But prior to then, about it's going to go on 7 years, there's been a ceremony, like an award ceremony that's done by Eye Care Academy in Philadelphia. And that's where the 400 Legacies Project spurred out of, just kind of through our coalition, the 400 Coalition that's in Philadelphia. Where basically a lot of elder community leaders came together, but they wanted to pass the torch to some younger community leaders. So we created the 400 Legacy Project through the Eye Care Academy, who was already doing work in Philadelphia. So the W.B. Du Bois ceremony took place every February, where we would just recognize community leaders around Philadelphia. So we decided to go ahead and just try to push to see if we can make it an official day back in 2019, and then it got approved the top of 2020 and became an official day. So now the last Monday of every February in the city of Philadelphia is recognized as W.E.B. Du Bois Day, and we're looking to replicate it in Atlanta as well as here in Ghana. So
wow,
yeah. So the first day of Panafest, I think it was last Monday, wasn't it, Shenice? It was like last Monday. Yeah, we presented a resolution to the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Center here in Accra. Right. Just to kind of recognize that W.B. Du Bois is a day in Philadelphia, and we're going to talk with some dignitaries and leaders here to see how we can make it a day here in Ghana.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Let me know any which way I can help.
Man, every way.
I'm down.
You helping now, right?
Welcome to the 400.
Yes, right. Welcome to Exposure to 400. Right. Welcome to everything live.
Because Exposure.
Fully in. So preparing to come. When she spoke to you about Ghana, I mean, I know you was just tagging along, but still, you were all in it anyway. Yeah. How was it like?
Man, it was amazing. It felt like a click, like when you connect a dot or to something. Because prior to even doing the interview, I had like officially became independent as a consultant. Probably like that last November, because I was doing consulting work for a commercial real estate firm, working with investing in commercial properties from Atlanta all in Pennsylvania, but specializing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I was doing that for 2 years, but all while doing that, I was still working. I had other jobs, worked for in the community. I was working my own nonprofit. Shout out to Jared and the rest of the Show Love team. But when I had officially said, I'm going to leave this firm, just do my community work and just kind of pick up clients to kind of help consult them on community development projects, I was in a mode coming to the top of this year where if certain opportunities came across and that was aligned with my purpose, I was going to jump on it. And a colleague of mine who's an ambassador with us for the 400, a shout out to DJ Reezy, he mentioned to my mentor Locks Knox and I on a call, like, hey, I'm going to connect you with the someone who I met up here where I work. She's great. She's like amazing. She does a lot of great things. Connected. She's doing something out there in Atlanta next month. I'd love for you all to talk. I said, all right, send me a number. Connect with her immediately. Well, he connected us to a group chat, and then after we did the panel, like Shenice was saying, we were like connected like that whole day. Like we spoke for like hours up to the interview ended at like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Wow. We were talking to went out to eat with her and her cousin, connected. Even the next day I invited them to a networking facility. Shout out to the gathering spot, and we were just kind of talking, connecting a little bit more. It was
time for us to leave for our flight. Literally we talked to him about
like 10 a.m. 9 10 a.m. all the way till they had to like kind of fly out like for 4 or 5 hours afterwards. Yes. And in between that time, she was just mentioning Ghana, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out to Ghana. I was just like, I'm gonna go. I was just like, and when we leave, I'm just like, hey, don't forget about the Ghana. So it was just like a funny, like, oh yeah, he said he's gonna come. But immediately afterwards, I then spoke to my constituents and colleagues, like, hey, put this on the calendar. This is what we're gonna do. And then we were like, separate from Shenice, we were thinking of what we could bring of value, and Du Bois aligned perfectly with it. So we were saying how we could bring in just Du Bois there, and whatever resource we had connection wise, we could bring to Shenice. But Shenice did a great job with just helping set the trip up, get us situated with just through her connects who was helping her, and it was a dope experience. So I'm just, and like she said, even if we didn't present in Panafest, it like just the click of us going is what we didn't want to abandon. Right. Like whatever value we knew Ghana would give to us, we wanted to receive it, and I feel like we did. Panafest was definitely a great experience. Also, though, Ghana was great, and it's just being Ghana.
Still being here is so surreal. Yeah.
Right. What was the challenge? What challenges did you face preparing to come?
Oh man,
was it accommodation or what was it?
It was understanding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I say for me, it was because I travel, frequently, even by myself. This was like really like my first time traveling like as a group with people. Like people may be like, wow, really? Like I've always just traveled alone. And or like, if outside of just family, family trips and stuff. But for me, my good buddy and best friend Jared Wilson, shout out to Jared. He's the executive director of a nonprofit that we have called Show Love. We had just went to Haiti like two weeks before coming here. So big shout out to the people of Haiti, the beautiful people of Haiti. And my prayers go out to them, with just having the president. That's just with that situation. But I think that happened a day after we even got back. So we could have possibly been stuck in Haiti.
Were you part?
What?
The people?
What? No, we were gone. We were already gone.
It happened before you left.
Right, yeah, that's crazy, right?
It happened before you left or after.
But so we were there. Like on a humanitarian trip. Shout out to Atlanta for Haiti. It was like about 20 of us went out, some family, some kids.
Bro, let's talk about this.
No, I don't know about that. That's what I'm saying. I got my
theory.
Yeah,
I'm only playing.
No, I know, but I got my Haiti chain on right now. But Haiti's a beautiful country. So much history, and for us to experience such a beautiful country, and a lot of the trip planning, they kind of had travel advisors kind of helping us. So coming right out of that, and then coming into a trip where it's me, Shenice, and Jared, we're our own travel advisor. We're gonna do this.
Where's Jared at though?
He had left yesterday.
He left late last night.
Yeah. But it was a lot of more so just learning on our end. But it was good learning, and I feel like like Shenice said, thanks to the Most High, we were able to meet certain deadlines. And just get there. That was really the big thing for us. Like, let's just get there. We waiting on visas to come back, but that was probably the only really red tape that I feel like we experienced.
It took a longer time.
No, it didn't. It was
understanding the process.
Understanding the process.
You can't go in person anymore.
Right.
Like you can't walk into the consulate anymore. No, you have to mail it in.
Yeah, you always have to mail it in.
Yeah, but before you could go, so it was just like, understanding that if I mail this off, that I send them everything because I don't want them to send it back. So
we sent it back and like we overnighted it like a few days before we had to leave. So we got it back like the day of a flight. That we had to leave.
And so so this, that's what I'm telling you. Like this experience playing for Ghana is like a story within itself because just like you said, like what did we run into? Just understanding the restrictions in terms of what you need, right?
So break it down. List the challenges that you face.
So, all right. So I wouldn't say. So the challenge was understanding what you needed to get into the country. So we know the basics of you need a passport, you gotta get your yellow fever, and you need the visa. So that was, the list. But for us, understanding the whole visa process, because this is the first time we applied for visas, so it was like he said, they were coming back from Haiti. I was coming back from Jamaica. So the reason why we didn't even apply for our visas before we left, because he was like, we don't want to leave for our different trips, and you still got our passport. We can't go on these trips. So yes. So I don't know if we should do that again, going on to two separate countries 2 weeks before Ghana. Because I literally was coming back from like Jamaica and they went to Haiti. So it was like, but so understanding that visa process. So what I did was I was closer to New York, so I drove to shout out to David in New York. He has a travel company, and I took my stuff to him and I was like, David, I need my stuff back by Friday. Right, and it came just like that. And so for them it was like mailing it back, and they all way in Atlanta. So that was just one set, understanding the visa process, how long it would take to get back. The other challenges was just understanding everything you needed related to COVID, right? And on certain websites it was like I was getting some information, but I'll go on another website and it's like, okay, you need one more thing. So it was like I don't want to get to the airport either in New York, because we was all supposed to meet up in New York and be on the same flight. We just end up leaving on different days, and I didn't want to get here all the way to Accra. And I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie with Tom Hanks where he was stuck in the airport and they was like, you don't belong to this country. I'm like, no, right? You don't want to be in that situation. Right. So I'm like, just understanding everything that's needed and making sure that we do it this exact same way so we don't, this trip wouldn't be wrong. But I remember like maybe like a week or so, maybe like a couple of days before we left, it was myself, Jared, and Rudy on the phone, and I said to them, I said, something must be so great over here because we're running into like these distractions, into these barriers, into these things. And I said, it must be something so great that something is trying to stop us or discourage us. And what we have experienced, the level of treatment, the level of like, just awesomeness and everything we experienced, your reception. We couldn't have imagined this. If you would have put our 3 brains together, we're some bright people. We could not have imagined this. And I definitely gotta give a shout out to Adrian and to Winford. They own a barbershop. Bill B-Snip Barbershop and the beauty bar owned by Adrian. Please check them out in Medina. They have diaspora experience where they help diasporans such as ourselves.
They have their own episode.
Listen, I'm telling you, they
was people though.
Listen,
I was cutting hair yesterday.
So yes, he was cutting hair over there. But let me tell you how I even met them. Doing my exposure seminar in Atlanta at the radio station. The radio station is owned by 3 black guys, Jarvis, Robert, and Prince. Shout out to them. But it's housed inside Morris Brown College. Right. Morris Brown College, I met Miss McKenzie. Miss McKenzie said, listen, I'm telling her I'm going to Ghana. She said, Miss McKenzie.
She's the student over student success, student
affairs. Shout out to Morris Brown.
No, not the one I know.
Okay.
But let's get going.
So she was like, I have a student over there talking about what, I'ma connect you with him. So me and Winfrey, we tried to connect a couple of times, but we was missing each other. We finally connected. When we connected, it was like if I had known him. Right. Bill has got that kind of.
Bill is a whole.
He's a whole
god on himself. You know, yeah. That's
Bill. His personality is bigger than life.
Yeah.
So I told him what we were doing, connected. So. His personality is so big. He was like, all right, just let me know when you get here. Like, I was able to connect with them. I was between asking Yadida questions, asking Bill and Adrian questions. You know, they were giving me certain answers that so when I was matching up what I was seeing online with what they were saying and make sure it's right. When we got here, Bill picks me up from the airport. It's like, listen, sis, come on, this is what we do. Like, right. And it's crazy because
those are his words.
That's what I said. You know, I'm not making it up. You know, and guess what?
His exact words.
We all came on different days because of the visa situation. I came Wednesday. Rudy got Friday, and then Jared came on Saturday. But let me tell you how we love them because they're so well connected. They're such great people. Each day that we came, we all had our different experience. So I get here on Wednesday. They drop me off at the Airbnb. They're like, get settled. We'll send a boat for you. Meet up with them. Meet them at the shop.
The barber shop.
Yes.
What I'm going to tell the viewers is connect with Mr. Bill.
Yes,
connect with Adrian. I call Adrian the Asantua. B-Snip Barber and Shop is at Medina, Piccola Heights around Rolling Circle. Connect with these folks. They are great people. They
awesome.
I mean, the first time we met, you know, we had conversation like we've known each other for a long time, and that's him.
Family.
Yes.
You know, that's him. He's just gonna start flowing everything, and what do you think about this? Let's do this. Let's get it going. Like, you know, it's not about the business alone. It's about the positivity around them.
It's that frequency. You see what I'm saying? Great people have a good business. They great people over there. So
I know what you're talking about. You know, I know what you're talking. I know Bill. I mean, he has his own episode. We gonna. You know,
but can I just share one thing about what they did for us that I want to get out because we all arrived on and this speaks to the kind of people they are and the kind of people that they have associated themselves and they only been here for about 5 or 6 months and they have already cemented themselves. So when I came on Wednesday after they closed down the shop, we went to a gathering and when I walked in there, I'm like surrounded by all these people from the diaspora and she like they live here. I'm like they live here, and so I'm meeting people. So all these people basically live here or they come here so frequent. You might as well say they live here. And I'm like, what? My people are anything. Like, you know, we already know we are African people, but people who had made that leap and that jump to say I'm reclaiming what's ours. It was so powerful. And the rest of that night, I was just in amazement of that. Like we wasn't waiting for no big celebration or no big kumbaya to come back. We just was coming back in droves, and I'm meeting all these great people, and they young professionals. It's not like they whatever. So then Rudy comes on Friday, and so spiritually I can't go out on Friday. So I'm like, Rudy, you don't gotta stay in because I'm in. Go out. Rudy come back like we went to Afriquico's. It was nice. He had his own amazing experience with them, and he's meeting other great people, all with Bill and Adrian. So this is Bill and Adrian. So then Saturday night comes. Jared gets here. They invite us to
Aquaba 360.
Aquaba, where we met you, Aquaba 360. Right. And this is Jared first night. Right. So you know what happened at Aquaba 360. It's all this black excellence in the room. And this Jared first night. Tony, you're there. Everybody there. And we like, and this is all things. So this is all within our first couple of days. And we like, if we wouldn't have known Bill and Adrian, this couldn't happen. So we shout out to them. I mean, definitely. If you coming from diaspora, please hit them up because they have their own diaspora experience.com and
B-Snap Barbershop.
Yes.
And Brilliant Beauty.
Yes.
That's for Adrian. It's right
and
upstairs.
now they got the rooftop. So that's who rooftop we're going to use for the for the Afro beat. So that's why we're keeping it small.
Definitely. What would have happened was, even if you had not spoken to me about it, I would have still been involved.
Right. Yes. Right. See how it's all connected.
What's going on? Yes. So that's how beautiful it is. That's how beautiful it is. People don't understand, but that's the beauty of getting on land and connecting with people and being amazed by the kind of people you meet. Like on the regular, you wouldn't meet Tony like on the personal level like that, but you get here and they just like,
and it's crazy because when after the after party for the Aquaba 360, they was on the rooftop, so I had just went up there to say bye to Adrian. Tony, we all walking towards the elevator. I was like, just sing. So I gotta show you the recording I had. I was like, can you sing? It's our anniversary.
They'll do it.
So they did it. And it's so funny because now, so they all in the hallway. So they started off, and then it continues in the elevator. So it's like it's so authentic, but it's Tony singing. It's our anniversary. Like you can't in Ghana, you can't make this stuff up.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how it works. You don't. These people get here and they put away all the other stuff. That America has.
They were cool because we bumped into them.
Because
at One Africa,
right? And they would just be easy and normal to you. Like, okay,
great people.
Very great people.
Yes,
and that's how it's been since. I'm loving this shift since I started. When I met you, I saw Rudy first at Aquaba 360, and I later I saw you, but I didn't know you guys were actually, y'all
working
came together.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going about, talking to people, connecting. So I get to Cape Coast and I'm getting out from the hall, where they did the
concert
event, the concert. And I get out and I see Rudy again. So Destiny is making Rudy repeat himself twice or three times. Like, no, I gotta talk to you. I gotta know what's going on. And it will amaze you the kind of ideas. Just sitting down for like 20 minutes. Great things that we can do together.
Before we even got on air, what we talking about?
Within like 10, 20 minutes, we spoke about a lot of things. A whole lot of things. And these are not just common things. These are very big projects.
Yes.
Very, very big projects.
Huge, yeah.
And that's the beauty of us coming together, uniting, especially on this side of the planet. That's the motherland, and doing great things together. So this is the shift. We're not ending right now, but then we're going to break for a minute. And when we get back, we're going to keep shifting.
It's time for a shift. This is the shift. Big change, big things in the phase. Big change, big things.
Their plan, steal your energy and then move on to the next man. That ain't gonna work with me, you vampires. I'm advanced, I don't dance with devils. I'll leave that to the caveman. A few years from now, you gon' be like, yo, hey fam. When you walking in your purpose, Just keep walking with a purpose. I know you.
People will wonder why I keep playing Zakisha's song and I keep playing over and over and over and over and over and over. What you say, sister?
She got some Lauryn Hill vibes coming through her.
Well, and it's even deeper. You know, it's serious, and people wonder why. Not because she gave me anything just to do it, but yo, the kind of lyrics she's putting out there is the kind of lyrics we need, the kind of words we need right now as a people to move on, to make the shift. You see what I'm saying? And everybody should check her out, Zakisha Brown, on Instagram. You find it. You go on YouTube, search for Zakisha Brown. You find all her songs. You know, she's dope. She is so dope. But anyway, getting on land. What are some of the things that you found out here that you were kind of shocked? Like, really? I thought it was not like that. You know, what are some of the things?
I would say for me, and we talked about this prior to getting on air, was I didn't expect it for it to be so Americanized or so heavily influenced by the American culture. I just thought I would have like a 2-week immersion of like constant like culture like, you know, Ghanaian culture put on me, and not to say that is a bad thing at all, but I could see the heavily influence of American culture here that I wasn't expecting when I got here, and yeah, I would say that was the thing for me. What about you, Rudy?
Yeah, for me, I would say probably like just the entrepreneurial experience that I saw within the community. Just like, you know how you're driving up to the red light and you just see how everyone's selling things. Yeah. But when you get into deeper to like Ghana and certain areas, it's really a lifestyle. It's a way of life. It's like coming from Haiti is in that third world country aspect. So the currency, or just like they're making like $2 a day there, like that's like the average income in Haiti. So it's like it's very hard and it's very tough. So coming to Ghana and learning that, you know, Ghana recently received its independence. Ghana, just a lot of its history kind of recently happened. It's a developing country. I'm kind of seeing just where Haiti is approaching. Like they're, you know, when more tourists do come or they start developing more buildings or events or things of that nature, you'll find they'll actually have, you know, people to sell to, you know. So seeing the youth come up and, you know, selling us art and selling, they have that in Haiti. You know, you have people selling things, but it's like every blue moon they probably may see people or Americans or anybody from other country come. So that was probably the biggest thing, just seeing how the development of Ghana is, which is good, you know, but I didn't expect it just for that magnitude. Like everywhere you go, it's, you know, it's businesses on the streets, you know, selling bed frames, selling
everything.
Everything. Everything. Washer and dryers. I saw printers. I saw the caskets. I saw the seats on the car that you put on the car.
Motorcycle helmets.
Motorcycle. It's like you see everything. But it just shows you where, like, you know, in America, you got people got storefronts, you know, plazas. And, you know, they have that here, but just I feel like it's more. It's
you gotta get out your car,
right?
Like,
yeah,
it's like
you
driver.
It's more people than brick and mortar businesses. You see, and you could tell people have turned their homes into like basically storefronts. So that was interesting.
What are some of the things that you found like problems that you think that
man? Well, I guess did you want to go touch on that one?
Okay, so I don't want to, and this is not to be politically correct. It's just that I just want to approach it in a more positive light. I would look at it more things that I would love to see improve upon being here is housing, and as Rudy just said, the entrepreneurial spirit. How can we really give it a viable place? You know, because at times it was overwhelming, but I realized the overwhelmingness come from necessity to eat at the end of the night. It's not like they're just doing it being greedy. It's like, okay, they need you to buy this because this may be the difference between a roof over their head, feeding their family. So it's like, but how can we turn this hustler spirit right into a real legit entrepreneur spirit? I mean, entrepreneur opportunity for them, where they're waking up every day and they're not just seen as street hustlers, but they are legitimate business people. So that's one of the things that I would love to see change, that these people individuals who are walking in between the cars, who are legitimately business owners and really having viable, like it's viable for them. It's not a struggle for them. It's really, at the end of the night, like if I don't get a certain amount of money, my kids may not have dinner. Like how can we change that narrative to that I just have my own business and I have to hustle every day, I have to work hard, but I have it because, and I want that to change, because sometimes as the person being here, coming to, just visiting, if you're not from here or living here, it can be overwhelming. And so then you are in a situation where it can make you retract and not want to get anything, because now you're trying to help one person and 10 people come up, right? So it's like, how can we have it in an organized fashion where everybody's eating, everybody is surviving? And then just this whole idea of creating this economic opportunity. So whether you have your own business or whether you have a job, just at the end of the day, if you are alive in Ghana, you should be able to eat. You should have a place over your, a roof over your head, right? You should be able to have clothes on your back. So what that may look like is that I want to be careful that I don't bring, as much as I'm trying to immerse myself into Ghana, I also have to make sure that I'm not bringing Western thought into Ghana. Housing may not look how it look in, back in Philly or back in the U.S., and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it broke my heart to see people living in, really subpar conditions and stuff like that. So I would definitely say, doing my part or doing our part to contribute to economic development, job creation, right? And also sustainable housing. Outside of the unification, because outside of all of that, another thing I want to see, and we talked about this again before air, is not them. I'm a diasporan, you a Ghanaian. Us. It's us. We want African people, and that's what I would love. Yes, one spirit, one mind, and one determination. At the end of the day, whether you from Australia, you black, or you from UK, or we all want the same thing. We want to be able to take care of ourselves and our family and be respected as human beings as such. And so, those are just some of the few things that I think that we want to cement. And I know for the viewers watching, right, it's easy to say, well, how can you two be a group of people coming over and doing it? It's just doing our part. We know that the things that we really want to do may not happen in our lifetime, but those who have came before us and those who are still here, they're getting older. So we're just taking up a time before they die with all their knowledge. We're saying, right, give us what you have. Let us take the baton this far, and we're going to take it. Martin Luther King even said, I may not get to the mountaintop with you, but at least he tried to climb that mountain. If he would have never tried to climb, what would we have to hold on to today? The Marcus Garveys, the W.B. Du Bois, the Malcolm X, all of that, right? So what we're just trying to do is come here and do our part and cement our legacy and cement our part into history, because the same way we were inspired by other people, we want to leave a legacy where when we're no longer here, somebody say, I'm going to pick up the baton. Because they existed, I want to be better. And do a part. So what we're seeing is really not far off. It's just doing what we're doing now. It's just making an investment. It was a financial sacrifice to come here, to be transparent, but it was worth it because the investment of it. People invest in the stock market. We invested in this trip to Ghana because the return is bigger than any stock market return that we ever can get. And what we have gained in 2 weeks, it's priceless. So it's like, if we can get here, see what the need is, and we realize that our American dollar goes so much further. So we don't even need to be millionaires to come over and make a difference. But guess what can happen? If we take some of our American money, bring it over here to make a difference, and whatever we put our money in, that investment returns, then we can go back to America to help our people over there that probably would never make this trip or for whatever reason don't come. We can still grow our business. So utilizing what we have to start with, bring it to our people here, let that grow, and then we could come back and create more jobs in America. So the jobs I can't create now because of barriers, economics, I could come here and create and then go back. And so then it's a circle. And then we are bartering from each other. We are helping each other. And then Black liberation is not a fad. It's a movement. So it's not about being liberated in America and y'all enslaved here. And this is why it's so important that we bridge that economic gap to say, let me bring my resources here, build this up. Then I could go back home. Then I could go to the UK. I could go to South America. I could go to even our brothers and sisters in Europe and Asia and Australia. It's really about how can we connect the dots and liberate ourselves everywhere?
Right.
And guess what? You can't do it just staying on your block, repping your block, your city. You have to get outside of that comfort zone. And it's ironic that sometimes in order to even help the people closest to you, we may have to come to Ghana to build our empire, just to be able to say now we can help people in UK, America, South America, Australia, but coming back home. And that really says a lot, even on a subconscious spiritual level, that our generational wealth is here.
Wow.
Amen.
This is deep. This is deep. You want to add something to
Yes,
it?
I know.
I feel like she said enough. That's the next question.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she's put it all out there.
Yeah.
You know, all the things that I was gonna chip in, she just put everything out there. But it's good. It's good that you're educating the many people out there, and this is what the shift is about. There's a whole lot of things that are coming up. Not only the shift. I mean, we've discussed a whole lot of things that we are gonna come up with. And I think it will be great. Very soon it will be great. We have to set the pace for the many others to follow. You know, we have to be the pillars. You know, we have to play great roles that people can actually look at us and just follow our you know, it's not for YouTube views. It's not for all that funny stuff that people are trying to do just to get money. It's for positioning ourselves as a people in the right path, so that the generations that are to come will follow, and it will be easy for them to have examples to actually follow and get to where we are supposed to get to. It's been 400 years and over, and we still going through the same thing. We can't please everybody. We can't do everything, but then we can do things that are within our reach. Change the story a little bit.
Change that narrative for sure.
Straight up, and that's how we're supposed to get it going. So being on land, do you think you want to live here at a point? But first of all, what have you found in Africa that in all your life in America, the greatest nation of all, you didn't get?
Peace. It's a peace that's here.
Yeah.
You know, even being like, since I've been here, I've been on like Facebook and Instagram and seeing some of the things that have happened since we've been here, some of the stories. I can't even, I'm like, I don't want to mess up my trip. I don't want to watch this video again, right? But and I'm not saying, because we have seen people argue in the streets. Like, I know God is not free of, like, it ain't like, you know, and I know it has its issues, but there is a piece that has been with me for 2 weeks. And I think we talked about this. I think it was Justin and Jared, about the anxiety that it is to, in America, you live with this anxiety that you don't always talk about. Like, you know, you may talk amongst your friends about, oh, this is what's going on, you know, vote for this person or that. But it's an unspoken anxiety that we live with every day that we really don't speak about, that we know is there, being black in America. You know, even traveling here, sometimes you could get that, like, oh, you're going to travel someplace. Like, the same thing I face I could face anywhere. Like, you know, I probably have a less likely chance of getting hurt here than America. So, like, sometimes people don't want you to travel because of certain things. And I'm like, I live in America, dog. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, being educated and being a criminal, you could get the same plight. Like, there's nothing that separates an educated black man from a criminal black man at this day and age, because y'all both could still end up dead, shot down in the street for just driving your car. So, being here is, I have been able to detach myself from that constant anxiety and just really engross myself in Ghana. Not to say that I'm detaching myself to forget about my people, but it has given me a peace where I'm able to think clearly and focus on the mission at hand and understand the greater mission. So then I could come back clear-headed and say, okay, this is what I need to be working on. Because sometimes when you are so clouded and burdened down with barriers and all of that, it's hard to think clearer. What's the next step? These last 2 weeks, I just been able to be free, like live in the moment, take in the moment. Even the times where, especially in Cape Coast, where we wasn't doing nothing, our minds were still going, but we were just sitting there. Shout out to Mabel's Table in One Africa,
Mabel's
especially, but definitely Mabel's table with the red, like, even we wasn't talking to him or talking to people, we might have been in our phones. We were just being still, but it still was like a peace and a stillness that we don't get at home. Like, it was times we just was listening to the waves. We wasn't even talking to each other, but we was just in the stillness of being in Ghana, looking out at that water, knowing something that looks so beautiful today was looks beautiful now, but at one point in time was the events, the place of tragic events with slavery. But it just was like that piece that we could just sit there, hear the waves, just be there. And then it was times where we could just hear the other elders that were there talking and hearing their conversations about stuff. But I would just say that piece, like, I can't really describe it. I don't know if that would be Rudy's answer, but it's definitely just a piece that, to hear.
It's not my answer, but it was definitely peace. Peace was definitely one of them. For me, it would have to be like settling into finally like the unknown becoming known. So like in America, it's like you were all, like you said, that anxiety. I'm African American here. But been brought here. You grow up just basically knowing like your people aren't from here, like, well, heritage wise, but when I guess as you grow up, you have to basically say, well, I'm an American. I'm from this land. I was born in this land, right? But for me, it was more like a connection to history. Like for me, actually being able to say, okay, I don't have to go and see all of this stuff at a museum here in my land. I'm actually here at the land. So I'm not the darkest brother, but for me, I've always heard African Americans, there's nowhere else for us to go. Because culture wise, it's something that has to kind of be created in America. Right. So like me being an American or African American, it's like my culture is new. It's been based upon U.S. history for slaves. That's what my make is. So to come to Ghana or just mainly Africa and actually see, okay, this is what where my melanin comes from, right? That was more of what this trip did for me, stepping onto this land, because now when I go back home, I can articulate a little bit better to my comrades about what it is to be black on this planet, not more so just in America, and to build out more platforms to where, like you were saying, like people can come together, work together, understand one another. I feel like that's what has to happen, because like we've been talking about separation for so long. I don't, you don't want it to have to be where you have to come back to Ghana to know who you are. It may take that for some people, but I feel like by just creating these type of conversations to where even those in America, those across the diaspora, even here in Ghana, we can talk about it and know that the conversation exists. I feel like it'll help people receive the feeling that I felt getting here, because it's definitely like hearing the waters. You can hear waters in Miami,
they hit different.
but when you're here and you actually know, like, okay, these waters are where slaves were taken, and it was for trade. I feel like that has to resonate for black people in America. They have to really like know, like, this is real life, and you don't have to be down or feel this traumatizing anxiety in America. You can actually do something. You can do business in Ghana. We need it. Ghana needs development. So if you're sitting in Boston or in Atlanta or Philadelphia, anywhere, and you're just like, man, what am I gonna do? I don't got nothing. I got no money.
There's a whole lot of things.
Yeah, it's like get some international money. Like try to make a difference outside of your neighborhood. Definitely start in your neighborhood. But if you just giving up on your homeland, come back home. Come back to Ghana, because they would love to have you.
and this is what I keep saying, and I'll say it again. Most people come here and they keep complaining, oh, they don't have this. I don't think they have good internet. They don't have good this.
Develop it. Bring it here.
Bring it here and make a living off of it.
Dirt roads, something like, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
Get some concrete, lay it down.
Bring it here and make a living out of that.
Make a living out of it.
Make a living out of that.
Yes.
Right? So if you think that the Trotros are the cars are too old, bring a new type, luxury type car, business here that people can use, and you can make a living off of that.
Exactly.
And that's how we have to build. That's how we have to reason. I'm sure you are here to stay. Actually, you're gonna come back and settle here at a point, right?
Yeah. Our goal is to definitely invest here, build here, and create opportunities for others to do the same. So we definitely, since we've been here, we've been talking about getting property here, and doing that. It's a long-term goal, yes, is to definitely be here. To we even before we left, we was talking about we had never been to Ghana. We was talking about dual citizenship, and that was just, and I think that was just a frequency and a vibe for us to say we never been to this place, but we want to be, you know, citizens of this place, and that's on a deeper level. But definitely we want to long term be here in Ghana.
There is you brought about dual citizenship. There is this thing in our constitution that has been in there for a long time, but I don't know, for some reason people are not using it or interpreting it right. I don't know what it is. It's called the right of abode. That gives every person of black descent the right to be citizen.
Wow, okay.
I think you should read it into that. Most people don't know about it. I think you should actually consider and read into that. And if sometimes, you know, government officials try to be funny a little bit, it's about time there are certain decisions that help us as a people. We have to actually force it on these people to get it going.
Right.
Because if we don't, and we say, okay, let me get mine, the next person will figure it out. Like the same way you fought for W.E.B. Du Bois Day to be a holiday in Philly. We should have systems like that are looking out for these things, you know, to help all of us. You know,
and not just discounts at the mall or something.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Pay somebody a little something to get things done. All these things, we got to check it. You know, we got to make sure that we get serious about these subjects and not think about ourselves alone, but we think about the many people that are to come after us.
Right.
You know, and that brings me to the question: do you think everybody is supposed to partake in this shift? The reason why I'm asking this question is because I've seen people that come here with all kinds of, you know, Western type stuff that they will want to enforce on the people. That's why you came here, and you see a lot of American influence here, because there are people, of course there are movies and all that, the media is doing their work, but do you think everybody has to be here?
I would say when it comes to, it's like, you know how they say, eat the meat, throw the bone away. I feel like, you know, those who are going to bring the positive value that's needed, then that should come. You know, like stuff like fashion trends and stuff like that. That's kind of like, that's not like the meat of the matter of what's needed. Right, you know, because I feel like, I think it's called, is it culture appropriation or something like that? Like how in America you may see other you know, like cornrows or different, you know, and people in America, they have an uproar about stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, this came from black culture. Why are you all? And I'm just like, bro, so what? Like, like we using iPhones, like we using, you know.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, it don't really matter. It's like if they want to wear dreadlocks and do all these things and take a part of our culture, cool. Because we go and eat in their restaurants. They eating, you know. We want them to more so patronize the black economy, the black dollar, you know. So I look at more stuff from a business insight. Like when, for those of the diaspora who do come to Ghana from the West, you know, the Western world, you know, don't bring that type of mindset, trying to call people out on this and point at this and point at that. Let's talk about those issues that we were just talking about. Things like the roads, you know, the health. I feel like the health system is something that needs to be improved. Right. You know, see how we can bring some, you know, some specialists, some more specialists. Yes, if we're going to bring advancements to things, outside of governance, you know, there are things that the people in a community can do and provide to the you know, to the economy, to the world itself. Because in America, you know, you find a lot of people just relying on government and you know, healthcare and all of these things, which are important. You know, if the government can provide it, cool. However, I feel like the communities are but they are assisted by like those who are wealthy, you know, the people who have businesses, like you were saying, who can come here and create solutions for certain problems. Right. And that is what has an influence on the economy, the government, and things of that nature. So for those who are coming from the West, you know, don't bring more so Western mindsets that's aligned toward, you know, like not entertainment in the aspect of business, but just like stuff that's going to make blogs and gossip and stuff like that to get likes and social trends and things of that nature. We got to bring concrete solutions that's going to really, really provide big impact So like that, like I mentioned, just with the Legacy Project,
right?
That's what we're looking to do: align ourselves with organizations and individuals who are doing that. They're focusing on things that can help set the precedent for the next 400 years, because we know we're not going to live to see the next 400 years. So everything we do today has to be aligned in like high level thinking, high level action. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
So I would say I think everyone should come back, but come back under the right terms. You know, like they say, one rotten apple can spoil the bunch, and like as you already said, so everyone hasn't come back with the right intention. So therefore, it can get infiltrated, and what was so organic and beautiful now can be a hot mess, right? Yeah. So I think what has to happen is those who already here, they have an organic approach to wanting to see Ghana advance. We just have to stay the course, and we have to be authentically true to the mission at hand and the social impact. So that way, even if someone comes and their mindset is, westernized, I'm just here for the party, they get more infiltrated with the right thing than the wrong thing. If we give in to the people who here for the wrong thing, like, they just taking over. Right. That's a mindset. They really ain't taking over. It's just that we just refuse to fight. So we have to be just as strong as them. If you want to make Ghana about parties, and we trying to make it about healthcare or housing, we gotta be, when you out in the street doing your thing, we gotta be right there in the next corner saying, sign up this petition, do this or do that. We have to make sure our sites are running, so when people type in visiting Ghana, they don't just see all the and I'm not saying don't have the parties and all of that, but I'm saying we have to make sure our things are in order, so when people Google Ghana, they see the missions. Oh, okay, it's about this, because sometimes you have to take people outside of their environment for them to actually think clear. Listen, in America and all over the world, we are on information overload. We are on social media overload, reality TV, all that stuff overload. And sometimes you really have to step outside your environment and step away from people and situations to really think clearly and not be influenced. Because a lot of the stuff we do, we're influenced by our friends and our peers and what we think is cool. But when we really in the essence of ourselves, we really want to think like a Martin or a Malcolm. We really want to think on a higher level. Right. We're just influenced by so many other things. So I would say, yes, I believe everyone should come. And the people that's here, whether you were born here as a Ghanaian or you're returning back home, I'm going to say as a Ghanaian, right? Yeah. We have to continue to just do the work. But what I will say is that we do need people who come and then go back home, because who's going to be there to talk about Ghana to the people that's being born or that's too young to come? If everybody come, you have a whole generation being born, and they like where everybody else at. They may is no one prepared the next generation. Like, you need to go to Ghana, whether you stay or not. Go, connect to your roots, learn, invest. Whether you stay and move to Ghana or not, you still should utilize Africa or Ghana to connect to your roots, connect back, right? Even if you never do Ancestry.com or whatever, come here, connect, invest, because everybody, see, this is the thing we won't even think about. Every other culture, every other race has came to Africa and stripped Africa. Now, how about we come to Africa and build Africa, right? Yep. Reclaim what's ours and own it. And so we don't give space. And then if we infiltrate it so much, we make it uncomfortable for the next person. But if we stay out of it, it's because then they got space to come in and take over. And then guess what? 100 years from now, Ghana could look like, an Asian or European country. Like, we could all die out, because if everybody from Africa want to move to America and everybody in America want to stay in America, Africa could no longer could get to a point where it's not Africa as we know it. Right. So it's like, we need people to learn. We need people to come, take what they learn back, bring other people over, whether they stay or not, because we do need some soldiers that's going to stay and say, this is why you need to connect to Ghana or to Africa. So it's not, I don't think it's meant for everyone to come and stay, because for those that's there, we need them bridge gappers to say, this is what's going on, this is the move. And if everyone is here, then those left behind just get further distorted and further connected to Mother Africa.
Right.